From the way that I'm dressed, I know what you're probably thinking. She didn't take this assignment very seriously, did she? But the thing is, I did. I'm trying to invite you into my home, where I mostly wear t-shirts and sweatpants and shorts, this turban and glasses because contacts take way too long to put on, where I sit on this couch and watch TV almost every day, where I come home to hang out with my mom. Well, hang out is a kind of weird word. We mostly fight all the time because that's just what we do. I guess you can call this my conflict outfit because whenever I'm most comfortable or lazy, we always seem to butt heads. But conflict truly is the reason why parents and kids find the true meaning in the word family. And for me, there's 3 major conflicts that made me closer, but more aggressive with my mom. The first was separation. Back in 9th grade, my dad had to leave the house. I didn't really understand why because the whole divorce thing going around wasn't really my deal. I was just gonna go watch Courage the Cowardly Dog in the living room and keep quiet by myself because that's what I did. But I guess you could say I got older and more abrasive with my mother when she talked about divorce. It was in the car ride on the way back from church. She told me, flat out, "Your dad and I are getting a divorce." Well, that's cool. Or so I thought, as tears rolled down my eyes. Don't worry, that was the first and last time I ever cried over that. While it did hurt inside, it wasn't something that I could fix, and I had to get over it. The last and final thing was moving out of our large house into this tiny one you see here. It's one that I now call home, but it took a while to get used to. For me, these conflicts with my mother only made us closer. And much like this, Augustine Burroughs, the author of Running with Scissors, went through a lot of the same conflicts but in different contexts. At an early age, his parents divorced, just like mine. I guess I could kind of relate to that. Well, afterwards, his mother was kind of declared schizophrenic and dropped him off at a new home. This wasn't something I was used to. A new home, well, like this, a new home where you just live with your family. But not in his case. In his case, he lived with a completely new family, one that he barely knew and he was just thrown into at a young age. He started to experience new things and had conflicts more than he could ever imagine. What was he supposed to do? He was thrown into the situation and couldn't get out of it. His conflict with his mother caused him to grow up faster than he could have known. But an author named Caroline Batista studied how parents are slowly going to classes to figure out what to do with their children after divorce. This conflict of divorce oftentimes causes children to go through neglect and abuse with their emotional feelings. This abuse probably isn't the best, but with her research, states are slowly passing a law that states that if parents get divorced, they are made to go to classes that help them realize what their children are going through as the divorce is going on. It helps them better cope with things like sharing the child and getting along with each other so the child isn't affected as much as Augustine or maybe me. Maybe in the future you're able to understand this. Maybe you don't have any of these conflicts at all. Maybe you're just wondering, where am I going to go to college, or what major am I going to do, and you're arguing with your parents about that. Or maybe you just argue about how you left your room dirty last night, or how you plugged up the toilet. I don't really know. I'm just a kid just like you. And maybe it's just my side of the story, but conflicts always start with one reason and one reason only: an issue. And an issue becomes an argument, and an argument becomes a conflict, and these conflicts become something that doesn't even relate to the natural issue. It just becomes a contest of who hates the other person more. So what I advise you to do is don't let those conflicts define your relationships with your family, because love is much stronger than hate ever could be. Thanks. I thought I did pretty good.